Hey, what's going on, everybody? So I thought it'd be pretty helpful for me to walk you through a case study of a marketing campaign that we ran for one of our advisors where we were able to get about 55 registrants or RSVPs for an event that she was running at a local winery. Now, what I did was I broke this down into 5 easy steps, and this works whether you're looking to run an in-person event or a virtual event like a webinar. So step one in this process is to get a traffic source to start gathering an audience. Now, with this advisor, she's looking to work with business owners, successful professionals, high net worth individuals. So LinkedIn is a natural place to start gathering that audience and cultivating relationships. Now, step two is extremely important. A lot of times as advisors, what we do is we start getting excited about running an event, whether it is an in-person seminar, whether it's a webinar, and we start blasting an invitation out to everyone and their dog, hoping that somebody's pain point is high enough to where they're going to show up. What I would encourage you to do instead is to slow down a little bit, and as you are gathering your audience, focus on providing as much value as possible to start really cultivating a relationship with that audience. And in doing so, that's what's going to make it so that when you send out things like an invitation, or when you have a call to action that you want them to take, they're going to feel more inclined to at least check it out, if not take you up on that offer. So with Kara here, what we did was went out on LinkedIn. We've been gathering that audience for about 2.5 years now. Now, in that process, it has been a continual process of connecting with folks, providing value, and then once somebody's connected with her on LinkedIn, we grab their contact information, put it into our CRM, and we start dripping out that valuable information so that when we have these kinds of events, we're able to put that offer out and people are more likely to take her up on that. Now, step three is going to be picking the venue for your event, whether that is a virtual event like a webinar or a physical in-person event like a seminar. Now, with Kara's event, she had, for this specific event, she wanted to focus on women. And so you'll notice that in the landing page that we created, all the copy, it is speaking to women. So a couple of cool hacks that I'll show you if you're looking to run an event specifically for women, for men, so that you can send it out to your entire audience without making it seem weird like you're inviting somebody to a women event when they're a man or whatever it might be. So Kara, what she did for this physical event, this in-person event, was she was able to book a spot at a local winery that was in her area where she could have both a networking event and a seminar. It was a kind of a hybrid event. Now, from there, we wanted to create a method for individuals to be able to learn more and to register our RSVP. Now, this is going to look a little bit different depending on whether you're running an in-person event or a virtual event. For a virtual event like a webinar or something like that, I prefer to just use something simple like Zoom, where Zoom will be able to create that opt-in page or that registration page. All you have to do is put in the title of the event. You got to put in some copy about what that person's going to learn at the event, really entice them and encourage them to show up. And then Zoom can take care of like follow-up emails and stuff like that. For a physical event where we're putting out a little bit of a stronger ask. We're asking somebody to change out of their pajamas. We're asking them to drive down the road and actually show up in person at the event. So in that circumstance, I prefer to have a landing page that's going to explain more about why they should show up and help give them a little bit more information to entice them to actually register and show up for the event. So I'll show the landing page that we had in a second, but step number 5 is just going to be inviting that audience to the event. And with this, we had, like I said, no money in paid ads. It was 3 simple emails because we were able to gather that audience, warm them up, and then the invitations were a natural step. Now, I'll show you the landing pages that we set up. So, like I said, this was a specific event for women. And so you'll notice that everything on here, women, wisdom and wealth, power in your purse, all that kind of stuff. One of the cool things that I thought Kara did with this is that she included something like a healing sound bowl therapy session that they were going to do after the seminar or the presentation was over. Just a really cool value add to tack onto the event so that it doesn't feel so stuffy. It doesn't feel like, hey, we're just going to sit down and hear some boring information, that kind of stuff. Really made it fun, enticing. There was wine tasting, light hors d'oeuvres, things like that. So just a couple of bells and whistles that she added to the event to make it feel more comfortable for everybody that showed up. Now, on the confirmation page, we did a couple of really cool things on this, really cool little marketing hacks in order to generate more leads and appointments in this process. So what we'll do on this page is, of course, we'll let them know the day, the time, the location, things like that. But then at the bottom here, what you'll see is we included links over to a couple of different places. These top 2 links right here are going to take that prospect over to a sales funnel, to a place where they can take advantage of a lead magnet so they can get into the nurturing systems and the drip sequences, and of course be able to book a strategy session. Now, let's say somebody wanted to skip everything all together and just meet with Kara directly. We've got that link at the bottom as well, so that if somebody's ready to take action, they don't have to look around for the next steps that they should take. Those steps are readily available. And she was actually able to gather a handful of new leads from this process right here just by including the next steps that somebody could take if they are ready. Now, inside of the emails, like I said, only 3 emails that we had to be able to invite people to the event and to be able to get those 55 RSVPs. Now, inside of this first email, what we want to do is we want to introduce the offer and invite them to learn more. This is going to be the first opportunity that somebody has to both learn about the event and RSVP if they are ready. Now, with this, I would expect a good number of RSVPs simply because we have been cultivating that audience and providing value for such a long amount of time. Now, what I alluded to this before, if you're running an event specifically for men or for women, here's a little bit of copy that we put inside of here to make sure that that wasn't going to be weird, like we're sending out an invitation for a women event to a man or whatever it might be. So inside of this second paragraph right here, we put, I wanted to extend a special invitation to you or the special woman in your life to an event that I am hosting on July 24th at the beautiful Paradise Ridge Winery. So that little line right there is going to make it so that it's not weird when it goes out, and we don't necessarily have to worry about segmenting our audience between men and women, just because if we've got thousands of contacts in our CRM, that's going to take a lot of time to try to figure out, if a name is a man or a woman or whatever else it might be, and you've got those gender neutral names that make it pretty difficult, right? So the first email, which went out about two and a half weeks before the event, just a very simple, hey, here's what we're going to be doing, here's why we're doing it, here's the link to be able to RSVP. Now, about a week before the event, what we wanted to do is reintroduce the offer and start creating urgency. Now, a lot of times our prospects are going to see an offer that we have out there, and they may like it, they may think, oh, that's cool, but if there's no urgency to it, they're going to most likely put that on the back burner because they have a lot of other things that they're dealing with, especially if we're looking at targeting business owners, successful professionals, high net worth individuals. Those people are busy. Those people have a lot of things on their plate. So even if something is enticing to them, there's no urgency to take action. That's one of the reasons why I like having live events, whether they're in person or whether they're virtual, is it gives somebody a deadline on when they need to take action. So we're reintroducing the offer. We're starting to create urgency and saying, hey, the event's coming up. Make sure to RSVP if you haven't already. Here's what we're going to be doing there. And then the day before the event, we want to send out an email for a last chance to register. And the way to be able to get that out there without it being annoying is I like to give somebody a sneak peek at what they're going to be learning when they come to the event. So make sure that they understand that, yes, this is going to be a networking event. One of Kara's sayings that she has a lot is we have the opportunity to gab and collab, which I think is kind of a fun way of saying that. It's a fun way of networking. But we want to make sure that they also understand that we're going to be talking about some financial concepts, right? Financial solutions, so that they're coming to the event understanding that they're going to be learning something in the process as well. Now, the makeup of the event was about 30 minutes of networking. There was like wine tasting, some light hors d'oeuvres, and then about an hour-long presentation, and then about a 30-minute sound bowl session afterward. Now, this was able to generate, I think she said, about 10 appointments, give or take, from the people that came, in addition to existing clients and referrals that are coming in. But just that alone was able to create a lot of really good activity for her, and that was just off of 3 emails. So what I would encourage you to do, if you do want to run events, take a look at these 5 steps right here and think about what you can start implementing today in order to run that event in the future, whenever that might be. What I would say is focus on these first 2 right here. Start gathering an audience and start warming them up by providing value. Because if that is in place, that is an extremely valuable asset. If you have a warm audience, an audience of people who recognize you as a subject matter expert, they feel like they're starting to build a relationship with you, that makes it pretty easy. When you start having offers, you start having events, you start having actions that you want them to take, they are more likely to take advantage of those, which leads to more booked appointments, more clients, and more revenue. So if you have any questions, let me know, and I'll talk to you soon.